Have you been sent for tests by your doctor, and do they think it's cancer? Take it from me, somebody who waited 7 months for treatment after I found a lump in my armpit. I'm here to sort of give you some advice on how to advocate for yourself and what you need to do if things are going a bit slow. So if I rewind back, I found a lump in my armpit in 2021, went to the doctors the next day. I was sent for a scan in my local hospital on December the 15th, and the radiologist was not concerned as I just had COVID. So they were like, no, we're seeing lots of people, we're not too worried. So fast forward, they said, if the lump's still there, we'll see you in a month or 6 weeks, we'll send for you. Well, that happened, that came and went, hadn't received anything, and the lump was still there. So I phoned up the end of January going, I'm still waiting, I haven't had an appointment. Oh, we haven't got you on the list. So the next available appointment is I think it was the 2nd or 3rd of February. So went, saw the same radiologist who went, oh, I don't like this lump. And then decided to do a biopsy there and then. And that was on a Wednesday. On the Monday, I had a phone call to say, I'm really sorry. It's bad news. It's cancer and it's spread to your lymph nodes. It's not good. So as you can imagine, my life went into free fall at that point. But I was very naive and I didn't know what should be happening and how bad that was, that they suspected cancer maybe back on the end of November. And that was then February, I got told I had the cancer. So my naivety, I believed, oh, right, okay, things will move quite quickly. And they did once I got into the breast clinic. I had lots of biopsies done, CT scans, MRIs, and I was going to have my mastectomy at the end of March. Brilliant, great. Until they found that the cancer had gone to my lymph nodes in my neck here. So I had a biopsy done here on the 1st of April, which showed, yes, it has gone there. So they couldn't do the mastectomy. They had to do chemotherapy first. So in my naivety, again, I thought that it would be quick and I'd get chemotherapy within the next week or two. I started chemotherapy on June the 28th. So I'd gone from November 2021 until June the 28th, waiting for treatment to start. So as you can imagine, my mental health went a little bit doolally in this time period, because if anybody out there has been told they have cancer, all you want to do is get started on, well, how are you going to get rid of this cancer? So that was quite alarming for me. But what I learned over that time was a lot of information. So there are lots of different pathways that can happen. And one of them is, if a doctor thinks that you do have cancer, there's an urgent suspected cancer pathway. And this is for people to be seen quickly. And the target is being diagnosed or clear of cancer within 28 days of a referral. That didn't happen for me. The national guidelines says 62 days from diagnosis to treatment. Obviously, that didn't happen with me either. So I just want people to understand that you do not have to, put up with these delays. I am a very outgoing person, and I've had to learn to advocate for myself, and it can be quite difficult when you aren't that kind of person and you're obviously not feeling very well. I luckily had a friend who was in the media, and she saw my post I put on Facebook going, I'm just waiting and I'm petrified, nothing's happening. And it went to the press for me, and it did make things tiny bit faster, not greatly, but it did get, people knew my name and things did move a little bit faster. But still, that's still a long time to wait, way more than the 62 days from thinking I had cancer to treatment starting. So if you are in a position, and I've had a few messages in the last week or so from people who are just going through the initial stages of being tested, not knowing anything about this, I would say make sure you know that 62 days from being diagnosis to treatment. So if you've been diagnosed and things aren't happening quick enough, get on that phone. I used to phone the hospital daily on some occasions, if I needed a scan and they were like, oh, we're fully booked, we haven't got a scan for another month. I'm like, I can't wait a month. I don't know what this cancer's doing. So I used to phone the radiology department most mornings going, I'm free today. If anybody cancels, I can be there in 10 minutes. And I suggest you do that. And I got told that multiple times. People are just names on a sheet. If people ring and make a fuss, then obviously we pay a bit of attention, which is wrong, but that is what it is. So I've sent a few messages this week to people saying, if you are concerned about it, the first port of call is obviously ring and speak to your oncology department, registrar, or receptionist. But also go to PALS. So that every hospital will have a PALS department, and that's where you can put in a complaint. I also did that on numerous occasions. And that then gets things looked up higher up. Why are you waiting? What's going on? And they have to come back with a response to you. But yes, just make sure you're aware of what, things are supposed to happen and when. It's sad that we have to do this, but it is the case at the moment, I'm afraid. On another hand, my mum has just been having to have a load of tests done, and it was completely different. Literally new system set up, and she was doctor. Within 2-3 weeks, we were in hospital, and they've got a new system where you have a CT scan done, you speak to a doctor, and you speak to a pharmacist that day, and they phone you back with the results that day. And literally, there were 3 different things that she needed doing. They've all been done within the last month, which I can't speak highly enough. And if things are changing, that's great. But I'm just going on what I went through, and some of the inboxes I'm getting in the last week or 2 have been people going, what do I do? I don't know. They're testing me for things, and they're saying it's going to take 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And I'm like, no, you need to push. And don't be afraid to push. You need to advocate for yourself. Hope that helps. Any questions, just inbox me.